There's a lot of drinking.
That's like a perfect summer for me.
I would never ever walk with my phone.
It seems like your guys' like superpower.
We take the new thing and we run with it. That's the one thing that will get you through traveling in Iceland.
Should be recording. I hope the audio picks up, because if not, then we'll just have a great conversation and won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You're
good.
As I said, I cannot pronounce your name. You reached out to me on Instagram and gave me some pointers on our trip. I guess the first thing I should ask is, how did you come across me and my wife's channel? And
I watch a lot of travel reactions, and I started catching glimpses of your channel on YouTube. I think you did some Voltaire's World. Yeah, and that's where I saw your channel. I didn't subscribe right away. Eventually, I got more interested and I subscribed, and I've been following you ever since. And then when you said you were going to Iceland, I was like, okay, I can probably assist with like roads and weather, and because most Icelandic people wouldn't go out of their way to reach out, and also because I have friends in the US, and I know if they would come here, they would appreciate any help. So that's why I reached out.
Well, I definitely appreciate help with the weather, because I wasn't quite aware of. I heard some people mention it, but I didn't realize how important it was to like check the roads continuously. Yeah, it definitely helped. The weather-wise, like we kind of had crappy weather. Yeah. Honestly, the whole time, but I mean, today was actually our nicest day.
Yeah, it's
been a great day today.
Usually, when people are traveling from the north side of the country to Reykjavik, and the weather becomes this in Reykjavik, we usually thank them for bringing the good weather with them.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we came all the way around. I don't know if we did the normal route, because we went down to Vik first, and then went around up to Akureyri. Yeah,
Akureyri.
Okay. Yeah. I said that. I know people are gonna be irritated when they say that video.
No, so the way Icelandic people pronounce names, we put the emphasis on the first letter of each word. If you hear a Icelandic person speaking English, take for example the movies Police Academy, you would instantly recognize an Icelandic person when they say Police Academy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Instead of Police Academy. It's just natural for them to place the emphasis on the first letter. But then when you are surrounded with people that actually speak English, your emphasis eventually shifts to where it's supposed to be when you're speaking that language.
Yeah, it does seem like an interesting language, especially with the spelling. I think it's in the top 5 hardest to learn. That's what Google says anyways, or top 10 at least.
Sure, it's kind of hard, but what I find Finnish, of course, is even more difficult. When I'm teaching people how to pronounce words, Icelandic words, I try to find similar words in their language, take the sounds that they're familiar with, and try to incorporate that into. But then, of course, you get the double L sound, when to use the L version or version, and the second one is tripped up most people around the world. That volcano erupted.
Oh, no one can pronounce it?
Well, the US Army actually shortened it to E15.
Oh, just because no one could say it?
Yeah, because E is the first letter, and then the rest is 15 letters nobody can.
So just E15?
Yeah, Eyjafjallajökull.
Oh, that's how you say it?
That's a word, Eyjafjallajökull. So. Yeah.
Oh, wow. How long have you lived here? I don't know.
All my life.
All your life, yeah?
All my life.
You said you're from Reykjavik?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Reykjavik.
Okay.
My family roots are connected with the Westfjords, mainly Ísafjörður. My father's side is more along the southern parts of Iceland.
And you live outside kind of now?
I moved out of necessity, really. It's just the first apartment that became available to me. I live in Njarðvík, which is part of the Keflavik area, where the international airport is.
Okay, so you do live by like Blue Lagoon and the airport?
Yeah, the Blue Lagoon is like 10 minutes away from me. Okay. By car, and the airport about the same.
I'm assuming you've been to the Blue Lagoon?
I've been there both to enjoy myself and also when I was working as an electrician.
Oh, you used to be an electrician?
Yeah, I'm a trained electrician, licensed electrician, but I haven't worked as one since 2018. I had a mental breakdown, and I had to reevaluate my life choices. So
that kind of brings me into, you guys are probably similar to Europe, but I'm curious about your guys' like healthcare, mental healthcare system. Like, if you could kind of walk me through that, that would be interesting for sure.
So, the healthcare, most places after COVID, is in shambles. It's getting better. The healthcare system is very good. Like everywhere, you have bureaucracy. Bureaucracy tends to bog things down. People are underpaid. There's a need for healthcare personnel. There's a want for healthcare personnel to come to work. It's kind of tricky, depending also where you live in the country. I mean, Reykjavik is a theme of Iceland. The cost of living is kind of high. Where I live currently, if I go to the doctors, it doesn't cost me anything unless I have to go to a specialist. Then it's going to burn a hole in my pocket.
But you are saying that it does cost if you live in Reykjavik?
Yeah, generally the cost is kind of high.
For the hospital side?
Yeah, for the hospital side.
So it's not like a complete universal healthcare all across the country, or is
it's universal. But there are some niches. Tourists never experience these nuanced pockets of expensive stuff you have to buy. Medication is kind of costly. If your insurance doesn't cover the medication, going to be expensive. I have asthma. Half of my medication I don't have to pay for it. Certain type of medication I have to pay in full almost. We have good healthcare. It's universal that our taxes pay for it. It also depends on the person. Depends on what's wrong with you. If you're sick, then the healthcare system will provide for you. If you're born with it, then healthcare is free, completely free. You don't have to pay anything. Flu shots don't cost anything.
Well, if you develop cancer,
doesn't cost anything.
Okay. But what about any other long-term illness that?
If it's terminal, the cost is negligible. Like I said, if you need to go to a specialist, then it's going to cost you something, but it won't cost you an arm and a leg. And generally, if you get sick in Iceland, you go see a doctor. It won't cost you a lot.
So there's just a very minimal payment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's practically free.
Yeah. Practically free.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Because we definitely don't have that. Now, you did mention the expensive thing. So even you as an Icelandic person know that it's expensive.
It's expensive, yeah.
Yeah, is that just because everything has to be imported? Or are there other reasons that... Because some of the stuff that I came across was like the expeditions.
Yeah.
Like they're fun, they're great, but should really... Like, why is it costing this much?
Yeah.
Is it just because the employees have to be paid so much?
I don't really know much about the side of the tourism industry. I tried to dip my toe into that area. It's partly to do with paying your employees. It's also, it's costly for them to get licenses to go to certain places. If you have a tour bus going to like Reynisfjara, which is a black sand beach, you have to have people with proper training, especially that black sand beach is especially treacherous, so you always have to have extra people to be on the lookout. Silly people trying to go into the ocean.
Yeah, my brother, I think, almost died there. We were trying to get to the cave.
Yeah.
And the wave, we didn't realize that the amber light meant not to get close to it.
Yeah.
It came up like a wave, hit him up almost up to his chest. I mean, he didn't get sucked out or anything.
Okay, that's good.
It came up to his chest, though. He got soaked. And I was like, and then we looked out later, like how dangerous that area is.
Yeah.
Like, you guys could have got swept away out there.
The undertow is treacherous. It's like 150, 200 meters from the water's edge. The sea floor doesn't go on a slow incline. It starts slowly and then it just drops off.
Like a cliff.
Yeah, and then you have cavities underneath, so the undertow will pull you down there. Even if you're a good swimmer,
you can't fight the ocean like that.
No,
So.
people have died there.
Yeah,
quite recently. Treacherous places, and the tourism industry need people with training. Some will cut corners, but it's usually just depending on where you're going. The tourism industry is the number one industry that produces the most amount of money. It used to be the fishing. Fishing is in the second place currently.
I'm assuming, just from my travel or what I saw, I'm assuming tourism will probably stay the biggest.
Yeah.
Because it seems like all the hotels and the shops.
Yeah.
So that also brings me to my question, kind of like, what is your opinion on tourists? Like, do you like that? Like, I mean, I'm assuming Icelandic people like the money it's bringing in.
Yeah,
like to bring in shops and malls and everything is bringing in, but they're like, I'm assuming there's also downsides.
Well,
or like, what's your like thought? Like, do you just like pass them like, okay, whatever's just a tourist, or do you get like irritated with the driving of them?
No, I'm fine with it. I think the danger of it is when people go traipsing off into the wilderness, don't mind the surroundings and trample over like
the moss.
Well, sure, the moss is one of the things. It's with the influx of tourism, the lack of infrastructure, we weren't really ready for the massive influx. So there are many areas that are now closed off to the public because too many people are going through them. Everything gets trampled. There's litter left behind, and people are trying to go in front of the herd and try to maintain some control. It's difficult when the tourism industry gets kind of overbearing and entitled. It's mostly that.
I was actually impressed with the road, honestly, considering it's just like the one main road. It was paved well. I didn't run into potholes or anything. I was surprised by the one-way bridges. I'm assuming that we'll probably have to get. I maybe it's not. Maybe the summertime. Maybe like wintertime's slow enough like they don't need. But I know like there were some times like on the one ways is like you go down it, and then the other person's coming, and you have to like back up, and then the people behind. So it definitely like it would be nice if there were 2 lanes. But I mean I know that's a big infrastructure cost. So.
Like the killer bridges are kind of.
If they could have, I mean, I'm assuming if tourism keeps booming, I would guess that eventually the ring I would think would be a full lane all the way around. So I'm guessing is what they're gonna.
They are slowly working their way toward changing the bridges. There are so many.
We drove through 10, 20 or... I mean, they're in great shape, like they're fine, it's just...
They are maintained, especially along the ring road, especially along where tourists tend to go. They are slowly changing the bridges.
Again, there's only probably so much money, so many road workers. And then this huge demand of people like... And I'm sure it's hard to keep up.
Also getting equipment to the location.
And then dealing with the weather. Like you probably can't do, I mean, maybe you could, but like in the summertime when it's really busy. Because I'm assuming summertime gets
very busy.
And then you probably can't do it in the winter, I'm assuming, because the roads are just too bad. I was going to ask, actually, that was one of my questions, like, what's the difference weather-wise between, like, winter and summer? Like, is it snow everywhere all the time in the winter, and you have to just clean the roads? How hot does summer get?
Well, today it's 10 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that's in Fahrenheit.
It feels maybe 45, 50 or so. I could look it up, but that's what it feels like to me.
The hottest day of the summer last year was around 20 degrees Celsius. And that was really hot. It's the moisture in the air that gets to you. Generally, during the summer, it's around this temperature.
Oh, 68. That's actually a very, very nice day.
It's kind of like this, maybe a few degrees higher. My experience these past years has been the summer weather has been like perpetual autumn. The summer doesn't get to the full peak like when I was a kid. Everything
it was hotter back then. Interesting.
And during winter, we've become accustomed to having no snow during the Christmas month. Last year, it was kind of welcoming to have a white Christmas instead of what we call a red Christmas. The weather can change on a dime.
We were only here 2 weeks, but definitely like 10 minutes it's raining, and then the next little bit snowing, and then the sun comes out for a little bit. It's like definitely the most I like the true, because you know like people like in Britain, even the US, like give it 30 minutes and it's going to change, but I didn't feel that as much as here. Like it really is like 20 minutes and it's going to change.
It's like where I live currently, if I drive into Reykjavik, it might be raining where I live, but it might be sun in Reykjavik. Then the wind changes and the rain just follows you into Reykjavik, and then it's sunny in Keflavik and raining in Reykjavik.
I was going to say, I'm sure you probably know this because your friend in Louisiana. But it gets about 43 degrees Celsius for our summers. So the 20 degrees Celsius sounds very nice. That's like a perfect summer for me. Like I like that 70 Fahrenheit. Like that's perfect. But someone was saying that your guys' winters aren't as cold as you would think being so far north.
No, they aren't really cold. Well, if you're going to the northern side of the country, then you get the cold. The northern side of the country they get the first summer rays, the first summer heat. The northern side, northeast, northwest side of the country, and they also get the first snow. The snow there can be like 6 or 10 feet deep sometimes.
We drove through Mountain Pass, and granted, this was the one they had pushed. Plowed, but it was like probably 5.5 feet. Deep. And like right now, where did we go? We went to Dettifoss. And the snow...
It's a good pronunciation, by the way.
That was okay? Okay. The snow was as deep as the little road line that they had everywhere. So it's like 3 feet deep. So we're standing like above where, like in the summertime, you'd be walking. So it made for a very interesting walk. So. And that's still like, what, it's almost May? So I was like, that's a lot of snow. And then of course you have approaching midnight sun. During high summer you have no darkness. It's a light day all night. So. I heard that it fluctuates extremely. Like January, you guys only have 4 or 6 hours of daylight. And then the summer it's like 22 or 23. I guess that's pretty much you know.
Well, during
it just truly never gets dark in the peak.
No, it doesn't.
Is that weird, or are you just used?
I'm used to it. My favorite time of the year is the midnight sun, and also when I get to see the northern lights during winter. But the midnight sun is especially good if you're going to places that usually have a lot of people, but you're going to take some photos or something like that. Going around midnight to like Gullfoss, when you would expect everything to be dark, then it's just daylight. There's no one around, and you can just plump your tripod with your telephoto lens and just
enjoy it.
Yeah. Wait for the right amount of light. That's life for me.
So then, like, photography is like it's your hobby, I guess I should say.
It's my hobby, and I'm trying to make it a living.
Well, I mean, you like people come here to take photos. So
Sure.
You do have a leg up on a lot of people. So
my plan is to use the summer to hiking areas, creating 360-degree photos, creating a virtual tour to make the experience available to people that don't generally travel or can't travel. That's the plan anyway.
So, I mean, that's like a great idea. Like,
yeah,
definitely. Like, there would be a need for that. Like, even if you can come, like, just being able to see, like, oh, I want to go see that in person. Because I mean, the only downside the problem I have with some social media is like when they edit and get that perfect shot. Like, it's great. Like, it did exist, but like then you come. Yeah. It's not quite like right now. Like Diamond Beach, I'm assuming because it's wintertime. Like, it was nice. Well, the weather sucked. It was like raining. I was freezing. Yeah. But it was still an awesome experience. But it wasn't like the sunlight, and the beach had very few of the ice chunks, I'm assuming, because like they haven't broken off yet. Yeah. So it was like, you just like the reality kind of thing. Like, it's like, oh, it's not, But obviously if you came in the summer or something, it might look more like that.
Yeah,
but, then you have this picture in your mind, like, oh, I want to see the I'm like, everywhere. It's going to look awesome. It just wasn't quite that like perfect shot.
The thing with what I do is you can't really hide anything. You're creating a spherical image. So you won't be able to hide anything from the camera.
It does seem like a lot of people are starting to kind of do the 360 stuff, but just because it's so unique. Hopefully it does really well for you.
Hope so too.
Because I mean, Iceland you definitely have a lot to work with. So was Icelandic your first language?
Yeah, we learned Danish in school. It used to be that we learned Danish as our second language, and then English as our third language. I don't know when it happened, but suddenly English is the second language. Then you can choose if you want to learn Danish or Norwegian or Swedish, but it's usually one of the Nordic languages that you pick from. Many people, including myself, understand Danish. I wouldn't be able to speak it very much. The general consensus among people is Danish isn't very useful. If you're going to further your education, like in Denmark, then of course Danish becomes highly useful. Most classes are taught in English.
Yeah, if you know English, it's kind of the second language. So you guys didn't know 3 languages, or is it 2 is the standard?
It's generally 2 languages, but if you want to learn more,
it's really available.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. What's one thing you never get bored of while living here?
The Northern Lights.
We haven't seen them this trip.
Yeah, you're
I know it's kind of at the end, and then we had the rain. We've been in some areas, like I know we met one person, and he said he saw him, but he took the cruise out. Yeah. And so I was like, well, we didn't do the cruise. Yeah. So we didn't see it because like, it was raining. Like, I didn't think to look into that. So I'm a little disappointed on that, but I'll have to either come back or go somewhere else that has it like in the winter. Yeah. It's more the opportune. That's like one thing, like my bucket list thing. I want to see the Northern Lights.
Well, if you ever go to Norway during the winter in the northern parts, Tromsø or somewhere thereabouts, you will be greeted by Northern Lights, even more so there than here in Iceland, because their cloud coverage is more stable than here. So you'll get longer periods of clear skies. If you have too much money to spend, you could go to Greenland. Generally, they have Northern Lights the entire night.
Is it expensive to go to Greenland?
Oh yeah.
More so than Iceland.
Oh yeah. There are no roads between the towns, except now they have a road going from Nuuk to I forget the town, but it's a new thing. They're really proud of it. It's their first proper road. If you go to like on the southeastern coasts, Kangerlussuaq, if you go there, then you have to bring your own fuel, because they won't sell you any fuel, because they won't get supplies during winter except by boat. And if the sea is frozen, they won't get anything.
You've traveled then?
No, my brother used to work in Greenland for Stanford University. I've learned a lot of things from him because he's married to a local.
Of Greenland?
Of Greenland, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They live here in Iceland currently. During winter, it's kind of hard to experience it unless you yourself prepare.
So have you ever left Iceland, or have you?
Oh yeah, I've traveled. Well, mostly I've traveled to England.
Okay.
I've been to Denmark. I've been to Mallorca. That's the places I've been to. I plan on visiting the U.S. next year.
Oh, nice. Louisiana, is that?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to a wedding.
I've actually never been to Louisiana, but I've heard a lot about it. Very humid, hot.
Hot. Yeah.
But they have good food.
Oh yeah.
Like, they're very good food, I've heard. So And then of course you have New Orleans.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Plenty of seeing to do. So
plenty of seeing to do.
Nice. I was actually going to ask, what country would you say Ireland is closest with? Is it?
I would say Norway.
Norway, really?
Yeah, Norway and of course the US. But yeah, we have a strong connection with Norway.
Is that just like through trade, or just the people are similar?
Trade, people, and also we used to be both under Danish rule. Our roots are connected to Norway.
Other than that, you feel Icelandic people are closer to the Americans than like the British?
Yeah, that's also, I think the reason for that is during World War II, the British, they were here they occupied Iceland. For a really short period, the Germans occupied Iceland, but the British kicked them out because Iceland has a strategic position in the Atlantic Ocean. Then the Americans came and took over for the British, and most of the infrastructure here in Iceland is thanks to the US Army base that was in Keflavik.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I came over here, like that the US had like a lot of the roads, like the airport was built.
Yeah.
Obviously the US doesn't have anything to do too much right now.
Yeah.
Like you guys are obviously your own country, you guys are doing your own infrastructure and all that.
I mean, the NATO presence here, of course, is partly thanks to the US. They did influence a lot. When the British came and when the Americans were here, people were still living in turf houses out in the countryside, ready to accept new things. We take the new thing and we run with it. That's also why buildings, houses, technology has grown so quickly, because we just latch onto the new thing and we just try everything we can with it.
I was really impressed. So like, you think Iceland, you think all this history.
Yeah.
But you guys do have a lot of history, but you don't have, at least from what I saw, you don't have like the remnants of it. Like it seems like all the infrastructure is like the last 100 years almost. Yeah. So it's just impressive to see how quickly and how fast. Like Reykjavik's a pretty big city, and like you have all these cities now, and you're just as advanced as any other country. It seems like you have running water, electricity, all the modern conveniences you could think of. Yeah. To build that only in 100 years or 120 years or whatever is extremely impressive. So yeah,
we've grown quickly over a short amount of time, especially in the form of like geothermal power and
yeah, that's kind of, it seems like you guys is like superpower in some ways, right? Like that's most of your electricity, right?
Yeah, it's the easiest form of power and heating for us. The island is basically just above all this hot water that's heated with volcanic power, and then of course with volcanic power comes the dangers of eruptions. Like just recently, Faradalsfjall.
Actually, one of Angela's questions was if you guys are ever scared of the volcanoes or no. Is there any one fault line that would be big enough to like rip the island or anything apart, or are they pretty small?
I wouldn't say rip it apart, but there's a mountain that we really respect. A volcano we have a high respect for. Sure, we are kind of scared of it if it goes. If it goes with an explosive power. Last time it erupted, covered half the globe in ash a couple of centuries ago. We are monitoring it every day. It has reached a point where it's really expected to go off any second. We hope it doesn't. Yeah, that's called Katla.
Is that in the like the Midlands, or is that where?
I'm actually not sure, because local geography is not really my strong suit.
I didn't know.
I know more about U.S. geography than my own.
Oh, really?
So I'm kind of embarrassed about that. U.S. and British geography. I was never really good with geography in school. So.
I definitely wasn't either. I'm becoming, like, through the channel and stuff, I'm starting to realize, like, okay, like, these countries are here, and you know all that, but like there's still so many countries I can't name or like don't remember where it is. Like quick Google search, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's where that is. Yeah. And then actually, Angela, another good question. I think, what's one thing that annoys you, or that you don't like about Iceland? I'm
not gonna say it again. It's been said so many times. Expensive.
Okay, so that's like kind of main.
Yeah, but sure, there are things that I don't like.
I mean, it could be weather, like whatever you.
The influx of stinging insects like wasps and such.
Oh, because it's heating up.
Yeah. That's the main drawback with the summer. For me, probably because I'm allergic to the stings. That's not good. Gas prices.
Yeah, I think I've spent a small fortune in gas here.
Yeah.
Like even compared to Europe or England, it's like 12,000 krona.
Yeah.
Per gallon, I think.
Possibly closer to 1,200.
Probably 1,200, yeah. And then so that's probably like 80, probably $9 or $10 a gallon.
Yeah.
It's like, that's very expensive.
Yeah, because it's
like, wow.
The oil companies here in Iceland, they hike the prices up, pull out all these kinds of numbers from like the price per barrel is going up outside of Iceland, so we have to raise the prices.
So do you guys have oil here, or do you ship it in?
We ship it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not like a natural oil reserve here.
No. That's probably one of the things that we lack.
Okay.
So we have lots of fish.
If you guys had oil, then maybe a lot of the countries would be oil.
That's one of the reasons why Norway is so wealthy.
There's oil there?
Yeah.
Is it weird not having a military at all? Or is it just kind of, is it good? Because it does seem kind of unnecessary for sure. Like, I mean,
we've grown up with the fact that we don't have a military. No, it's not weird. A military would be formed now. That would be weird because we've grown accustomed to not have a military presence. We have NATO, and they just keep to themselves. We're fine with it.
It did seem after like traveling around, I was like, I get why like you don't dump all of those resources. Yeah, like what's the point? And kind of thing. Like with NATO, and for the most part, countries aren't trying to invade each other too much anymore. So.
Yeah, and I mean the police here in Iceland, they don't carry guns.
I did hear that they started carrying tasers at one point.
Yeah. They're trying to pass it through legalization for them to carry tasers. There's a lot of pushback where other people, other political parties are totally against it.
Yeah, it did seem. You guys have a pretty small government, it seems like.
Yeah, but lots of political parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 13, 14
really?
different. Yeah.
But because of a smaller government, it doesn't like. Do you feel the government like in your day-to-day life at all?
No.
No. Because it seems to me like if you don't have like a big military or a big police force, it kind of would make you more responsible to the people. You know, because like the president's house is like everyone seems to know where it is. Sure. So it wouldn't be hard, you know, if he did something that you guys really pissed you guys off, that you guys could be like, hey, we're gonna come to your house and like pick it or whatever. So it definitely, I don't know, it just seemed like you guys can hold your government a lot more responsible. Yeah. Is I guess what I'm trying to say, than like ours is like...
There was a picture floating around the social media scene a few months ago with the Icelandic president in the US watching a basketball game. He was just sitting among the people, no security personnel. He just went on vacation, and it wasn't an official visit or anything. He was just on vacation, and he just went to a basketball game, and sports newscaster recognized him, and they
got the camera shot.
Yeah, got the camera on him, put him on a big screen, and he just waved, and so.
Yeah, no, I actually do like that. Like, it's kind of like cool, you know, just having such a smaller government that seems pretty easy. Like, hey, like you can't just, you know, run over us or do what you want. Like, you gotta, you know, respect us. I do like that about Iceland.
The current ruling political party is the what we would call the Democratic Party, but it's actually closer to the U.S. Republican Party.
Yeah, because it's kind of reversed. It seems like in Europe, like the left is the right is the left. Or I guess it should be reversed in the U.S. because we do things reversed. Yeah,
but we are still kind of very liberal.
One thing I did notice is you guys definitely seem more focused on like the family here. Yeah. And also another thing I noticed too is you guys are, at least in public, you're not on your phones as much. Yeah. So I just didn't know like if that's... that's the true observation?
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, the kids are always on their phones, but generally, the phone is just a tool. If you're bored, sure, I would take my phone out, but I will always pay attention to my surroundings. I would never ever walk with my phone and my head down in the phone, because you never know, especially in Iceland. You never know. You might step on some freak ice sheet or something. Not during summer though. But yeah, we generally don't have a lot of phone use.
Which is, no, it's really good. It's something that I was like impressed with. I felt bad always being on my phone, but it's like I'm trying to like, you know, look where to eat or like look where this place is. So I'm like still always on my phone. I try not to be so much in my personal life. Obviously, having the channel and stuff kind of makes me be on a little bit more than I'd like.
Of course.
Because over in America, it's like everyone is always on their phone. It's something I really don't like.
But then during like family gathering, if nobody is saying anything, everybody's on their phone. But as soon as something happens,
everyone puts their phone away.
Yeah, put your phone away, and I mean, and it's still the same with kids. Their whole social life is the phone. That's how they connect with their friends and keep informed with what's going on in their social circles. It's true all over the world today that kids will always want their phones.
Well, also especially with like your payment, like especially Europe. Like we almost got in trouble this time because my credit card doesn't have a PIN.
Yeah.
Because I've never needed it.
Yeah.
Then my Google Pay wasn't working at some of the gas stations. So with Easter, combining all that together, we had to like buy some of those gas cards ahead of time.
Okay.
Because we were like, well, we're gonna run out of gas.
Yeah.
Like we have credit cards and everything, but like we can't buy it.
Yeah.
So like next time, I'm definitely gonna make sure I set up the PIN, and also my credit card's not tapped, but that hasn't actually been an issue this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it just everyone like this was like my first time having to like actually get Google Pay and like set that up, and so it was interesting. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, if you don't have this, you can't. Like, I mean, I guess if I had a ton of cash, but
sure.
I didn't get obviously a ton of cash to have on me. But yeah, I was actually surprised to see that you guys had a Taco Bell here.
Yeah.
Not American prices.
Yeah.
Definitely not American prices.
It's very, yeah.
We tried it, it was good.
Yeah, but the price was...
Yeah, it's like you could get 3 times the amount.
Yeah.
In America, which might be why we're more heavies. But
well, I mean, McDonald's did give up.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, like they tried and gave up.
Yeah, so they were forced to use local meat because the importation of meat products and animal products into Iceland is heavily regulated.
Is that why? Because I did notice when we went to Bonus, like all the grocery store prices were relatively similar. Like the grocery stores didn't shock me at all. It was the restaurants and that kind of stuff. Like, oof.
Yeah.
But I did notice meat and meat and dairy.
Yeah,
we're very it's like a thing of cheeses. 10 krona. I pretty much just knocked the zeros off. 1,000 krona, right?
Yeah.
I just noticed. I didn't know if that was because of import fees or.
It's if it has added sugar, then it's more expensive because there's tax on sugar here in Iceland. That's to try to make people eat healthier, but that just makes people spend more money. It doesn't really work. Generally, fish is less expensive than meat. Of course, we have an abundance of fish. It's kind of hard to explain, and also trying to find the
English,
the right vocabulary to use without.
Well, I was surprised that sheep seems expensive. Yeah, you guys have so many sheep.
Yeah.
Is it just the cost of butchering them, or is it
cost of butchering, and also sometimes herds get sick. They have to be euthanized, and then of course you can't sell that meat. So they always factor in losses, and that reflects in the price. And also depends on the store you go to. Like the cheapest one being Bonus.
Yeah.
The pink pig.
Yeah, which is a funny. It definitely sticks out.
Yeah, it's a piggy bank.
Is it not like as high of quality? Is that why?
It's the same quality.
Oh, okay.
It's just a little bit older.
Oh, okay.
Closer to expiration. And generally, when people are buying there, they either buy to put in the freezer or they buy to cook immediately. And then you have the more expensive stores like Krónan. It's the yellow
smiley face.
The yellow coin.
Oh, it's a coin. I thought it was a smiley face.
Krona, the coin. We have a step up from there is called Netto. The prices there are usually more expensive because they have stores that run 24/7. Then you go to what I refer to as emergency stores. If you absolutely positively need to buy something and everything else is closed, then you can go there. It's called Krambúðin.
Is it just expensive?
It's a store we generally tend to avoid. Then of course we have the English store Iceland.
That is actually in Iceland.
Oh yeah.
I knew because the Brits were kind of like making like, oh, I thought you were going to Iceland.
Yeah. I've actually had a run-in with people when I'm traveling in England, and they ask me where I'm from. I'm say from Iceland. Oh, you work in the store?
The Brits.
No, I'm Icelandic. I think there's a court case ongoing.
Oh, for the name?
Yeah, or the name because of branding and
gotcha.
Such. Yeah.
There's something that a lot of people were kind of mentioning when we were on our way, and that was the nightlife. Yeah. Is there like a big nightlife here?
You generally don't experience it unless you're closer to the weekend. Like the nightlife picks up in around Thursday, Friday reaches a peak during Saturday. Then you have people working with hangovers that some people have hangovers that last the entire week.
Is it? I'm not a nightlife person. I got married when I was young, so I didn't really experience it. But like, is it just people going to like the pubs and stuff and drinking, or is there like
generally?
So it's not like the nightclubs or anything. It's more focused on just the.
I mean, we have nightclubs. People go to concerts. There are bands playing in many of the clubs. There's a lot of drinking. The Icelandic population is known for lots of drinking. I don't drink myself, and I tend to avoid large groups of drunk people, so I don't generally
mingle with them.
Yeah, no.
That's kind of like me. People are like, oh, you have got to go to the nightlife. And it's like, but I don't drink, so it doesn't sound fun to me. But
I mean, if my friends wanna go out, sure, I'll go with, and I will take the role of being the
designated driver.
Yeah, the eternal designated driver. Nightlife, it's kind of mostly just drinking, but I go to concerts, and I mean I've seen Metallica here in Iceland and Rammstein.
I was really impressed with Harpa.
The harp.
Yeah, it's a very cool building. I would say probably the coolest building I saw in Reykjavik.
There's a lot of technology within it in terms of audio production and making a space sound bigger than it really is.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of upset because I don't know if you know who Lucas Graham is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming in 10 days, and I really want to see his concert. He doesn't come to the U.S. very much. Okay. Because he's from Denmark, I'm assuming. He does more European tours and stuff, so I missed it by 10 days. But whatever. Someday maybe. But yeah. I definitely appreciate you helping me, because like some of the questions I was asking you was kind of like, it was nice having someone who was pretty readily available just to be like, because I was really worried there for a little bit, because I sent you that, I think I sent you a screenshot or whatever, the roads were like all in blue. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I don't know if we can do this. Yeah. Ice and snow. And then it changed. Like when the day we actually went to travel, 3 days later, it was all in the green. But yeah, just travel responsibly. Yeah. Travel responsibly. If you feel something is off, then just stop, think, find a solution. That's the one thing that will get you through traveling in Iceland. Do you have any other advice for like a tourist? Like if something's roped off, don't. Yeah, if something is roped off, don't go there. There's usually a reason why it is. If you come across a gate across the road, don't try to pass it. There are reasons why we close things off. People that are used to roundabouts, inner circle in the Icelandic roundabout has right of way. We are the only country that I know of that does this. It's usually the outer circle that has the right of way. Yeah, I didn't run into that personally because it seemed like most of the roundabouts were the 2-lane. Yeah, and there was no one that was trying to get in the first lane. But I could see once I was here and visualized, I was like, okay, yeah, like if someone really wanted to get in my lane, I would have to yield to them. Yeah. Well, with everything down, I guess we'll just have to wrap it up. Yeah. But I cannot say your name. I'm so sorry. My nickname is Gummi. Gummi? Yeah. Okay, there, Gummi. Yeah. Thank you for coming on and driving all the way up. I really appreciate it, and you know, it was kind of like a rambling conversation, but yeah, definitely thanks for coming on. Thank you. All right.